Okay, first thing you want to do when setting up your counterweight system is mounting this bracket to the top of your wooden dummy. If you don't have a Warrior dummy, as long as this is centered, it doesn't matter which way you orientate this. Just get it center of your dummy. If you do have a Warrior dummy, we have a laminated trunk with multiple layers. The inner core is glued and screwed in a specific configuration. So to avoid hitting the internal screws when mounting, you need to orientate this as such. If this is the front of your dummy, let's look at the top back of your dummy as north, the front as south, and east and west. You just want to make sure that these points are in those same exact alignment with north, south, east, and west. So that's the correct position for a Warrior dummy. For a non-Warrior dummy, really doesn't matter. You just want to center it. Okay, once you get it centered, you want to pre-drill with a 3/16 inch bit. And then the lag bolts that we provide with this bracket, secure them in with either a wrench or a ratchet. Okay, as you can see, we pre-drilled the holes and we're starting to put the lags in. A little tip on drilling these out, because sometimes when the wood bit hits the grain, could shift. So in order to keep the alignment of all four of these holes, I suggest drill 2 holes first, start your bolts, and then from there, drill with your bit through the actual bracket and complete the last 2. If not, there's a tendency that that bit will wander off slightly, and then you're going to have trouble catching those lag bolts, or the lag bolts will go in crooked. Okay, for the mounting and setup for the counterweight system for your wooden dummy, this piece is a vertical piece, which is going to get mounted. We slid the dummy out of the way, but basically this would get mounted dead center to your dummy. So you obviously slide the dummy back so it lines up with the center. This center pipe will end up with the center of your dummy. Now, there's going to be 2 nailer boards that you're going to get. I got one up there. I got one down there. Now, depending on where your studs are, these had to be set up this way because I have a condition up here. I have a pipe, and we couldn't go to the left, so we were limited, and we had to put it that way. But like I said, most likely you're not going to probably get these dead center to your nailer boards. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't have to really look that pretty. The problem is when you're setting up your dummy, you don't know exactly where those wall studs are going to fall out. If you happen to have the wall studs that fall out evenly, one to the left and one to the right of the dummy, then it would work out where that would be centered to those nailer back pieces. Most likely that's not going to be the case. So you got to just basically find where you want your vertical piece to mount, which is going to be told or governed by where your dummy is, and then find your 2 nearest wall studs right to left, mount your nailers, and center this. This also needs to be level. This is the channel where your heavy-duty rope is going to pass through, and your counterweight is going to hang below. Usually a 45-pound plate should be enough. If you want to go a little bit more, you really don't need to match the exact weight of the dummy. You just need to take some of the weight off. So I'd say between 45 pounds, or if you want to get a 70-pound bag of sand, that would be perfect. And basically this channel keeps that rope steady, so you don't have a plate banging around on the back of your dummy when you're raising it or lowering it. And then the next thing is you're gonna have to mount the top piece, which we're gonna show you next. The top piece has the pulleys. Okay, now you may have, luckily we have an open ceiling, so I can show you this. We're gonna have to put 2 nailer boards up top. So basically you're gonna get one up here and one over here. And then you're gonna mount this to those, which we'll show you next. So this is the piece that's going to contain your pulleys. Now, while I have this loose and not mounted yet, if you have a scenario where your studs are running the other way, going this way, okay, then you won't need these nailer boards. We made this long enough. It's pretty long for a reason. Sometimes when your wall meets your ceiling, you're not left with a lot to catch as far as this end of this board to catch to. So in case that happens, you'll at least be able to catch three of these ceiling joists. The end one, I recommend, these all have to be pre-drilled, by the way, with an 1/8 of an inch bit. And we're going to supply you with 4-inch mounting screws. I would suggest to mount and drill the end piece with an angle. This way, even though you're not going to be sitting totally flat on that stud, where you're going to catch it perfectly like that because of the sheetrock, you may be somewhere like halfway. At least if that screw goes in at an angle, you'll be able to catch more of this ceiling joist through the sheetrock. Okay, now we have the counterweight cross piece mounted to the nailers. The nailer is going to get screwed most likely through sheetrock. So you're going to use 4-inch screws for those. Basically one on each side. So you got 4 screws total, 4-inch. And then on this main board with the pulley system, you're going to get 2 screws, 3-inch, going in 2 places, two each. So a total of 4 there as well. You want to be pre-drilling all of these with 1/8-inch diameter drill bit. You don't want to split those boards. So everything that's going to get mounted is not going to be drilled for you. We don't know where your ceiling joists are going to be. Again, your wall mounts are going to be mounted the same way, pre-drilled. You got to locate your studs. And then you're going to basically just attach your rope to your top of your dummy, feed it through the pulleys, send it down the pipe, and just mount your plate. 45 pounds seems to be enough. It definitely lightens the load quite a bit. I'm going to show you how you're going to be able to raise or lower this. Now again, this system can be used for any wall stand type where you want to just take the weight off of your dummy, and it will allow you to, again, easily adjust the height without having to fight with the 100-pound dummy. So we're going to show you how to adjust the height now with this in place. And like I said, it makes life a lot easier. Okay, one suggestion when you're attaching your counterweight, which is this 45-pound plate here, you want to make sure that the dummy is in its highest position. So you want to make sure that you're in the highest position that you want this dummy to fall out in. That's when you want to set your counterweight. And I suggest when you tie this knot that you put put a spacer underneath that plate to take the weight off. You need something about 4 or 5 inches. And the reason for that is that you're going to have some stretch and some give in this cable. So you don't want it to be right on the floor. So, and also if the knot may tighten up a little bit when this weight pulls on it. So just give yourself about 4 or 5 inches and then pull out the books or whatever you have underneath it once the knot is complete on this end. Okay, now we're going to show you how to raise and lower this dummy on this particular stand with the counterweight setup. We already moved the strip, the filler strip that goes in between here. As you can see, it's removed on both sides. That will allow this to come out into this channel so you can adjust which setting you want to go into. So what I find to be the easiest way is to remove the limbs, make it a little bit lighter, and if you grab it by the front leg hole, it has a good grip on this because it's at an angle. So basically you want to pull this out. As you can see, the counterweight is taking a lot of the weight off. I find it easiest to just concentrate on the top. Once the bottom is free, let's say I want to go down 1 notch. Make sure you're out of all these pockets, top and bottom. So now I go down to the next notch. I find it easier to catch the top first. Once the top is in place, like that, you just pull the bottom in. If you want to go down another notch, same thing. So kick it back into the center channel. It's a little tricky because you got to keep an eye on all 4 of them. Set it into that next notch, top, bottom. Once it's where you want it, you put your filler strip back in. Close your lever on both sides. Now your dummy's locked. And it's that easy to change the height. One person can do it. 45-pound plates seem to be enough to take just enough of the weight off of this to make it manageable for one person. It's a lot easier with 2, but one person can easily do this. So again, this is James from Warrior Martial Arts Supply. This is our newest product design with the height adjustable wall stand.